Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. A lot going on from the Game Awards yesterday, but we have finally gotten the official confirmation on when one of the most iconic PlayStation games of all time, I don't think that is a stretch to say that at all, The Last of Us Part 1 will be coming to PC in early 2023. We got a date for this, and thank God that this didn't have the Uncharted syndrome going on, where like Uncharted was announced for a while, and then we didn't get a release date for months and months. But The Last of Us Part 1 will be coming on March 3rd, 2023, so my God, early 2023 is absolutely gonna ravage our wallet. Like, think about this for a second. January, Dead Space Remake, Forspoken. February, Hogwarts Legacy, Wild Hearts, Atomic Heart. March, Last of Us Part 1, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. All of that is just off the top of my head, and I am definitely missing like a billion games on that lineup as well. Like, your wallet, if you are picking up a sizable amount of games in 2023, your wallet, it's over. It's over for your wallet. You are about to spend like an absurd amount of money, but hey, it's a good thing. I love it when a lot of games are coming out. You can pick and choose which ones you want to play. I feel like for the last couple of months as well, there's been a lot of stuff coming out. It's been an exciting time to be into gaming, and I think, you know, this 6 month stretch, this 6 to 8 month stretch from September to, like, usually April or so is always a heavy period. You usually have a little bit of a lull in the middle of December into the middle of January, and then it picks right back up, and then you'll have that lull in the summer as well. But man, just a ton of games coming out. Last of Us Part 1, one that I am incredibly excited about. Got a ton of information to go over in this video as well. We got a price point. We got the release date, as I mentioned, March 3rd. Want to talk a lot about the price point. So, $59.99, $60. It was gonna be really interesting to see if Sony would try to squeeze out $70 for The Last of Us Part 1. I am really curious to know what the internal decision-making was for The Last of Us Part 1 being $60, because was it a case of Sony looking at the sales numbers for Sackboy: A Big Adventure and Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection being like, okay, there's only so much we can push to try to get every single dollar out of the consumer. Maybe $70 wasn't the way to go. In the case of The Last of Us, maybe I'm crazy. I do think this is a game you could have gotten away with $70 with. Yes, I know, the PlayStation 5 version of Last of Us, I was super vocal about it, that $70 price tag was super egregious, but that's because, like, everybody that has a PlayStation bought that game, like, twice already on the PS3 and the PlayStation 4. In the case of PC, this is one of the most iconic games of all time, on PlayStation platforms coming to PC, so much like Spider-Man, much like God of War, I think this game could have been priced at a premier price point. Now, don't get it twisted. It's at $60. This is a premier price point. I don't know. I think they could have gone that route, but thank God they didn't, because who the hell trying to pay $70 for a game that came out in 2013? Like, nobody trying to do that. Nobody trying to really pay $60 for a game that came out in 2013, but me thinking about it from the lens of Sony, you know, I thought they would have tried to push the envelope and tried to go with a $70 price tag. But hey, maybe Sackboy flopping, maybe, you know, Uncharted not doing as well as they hoped, and Miles Morales not doing as well as they hoped. And I don't know if what their internal expectations were. Maybe those games did exceed their expectations. I think in the case of Sackboy, they would have liked it to do a little bit more, and I think the price point really hindered that game more than anything. Again, Last of Us, they're still going with a $60 price point, so this is still a very, very high price point. I think for a lot of people, they're gonna look at it and still be like, yo, this is way too expensive for a game that came out in 2013, and I can understand that, but again, this is such a notable franchise and a iconic game that I think it's gonna do really well. Like, this isn't an Uncharted case. I think Last of Us Part 1 is a different ball game here, because first of all, it's Last of Us Part 1, not Part 2. Could you imagine if Sony ported Last of Us Part 2 without porting Part 1? Like, we would all be like, yo, bro, what are you doing? They did that with Uncharted, and I really feel like that hindered the sales of the game. Ultimately, I think part of that reason is I think they do have it in the back of their mind. They want to remake Uncharted 1 and maybe the entire trilogy at some point, and ultimately then they'll bring it to PC. And even Naughty Dog said that they didn't feel like Uncharted 1 to 3 would be, you know, up to the quality level that PC consumers would expect, and they haven't aged well enough for them to bring it to PC. I disagree with that. I think if you put the Nathan Drake trilogy literally as it is on PC, price it at like $39.99, people would buy it in droves, and it would have ultimately just helped the sales of the Legacy of Thieves collection. Alas, I don't make these decisions, so, and I don't make these decisions for good reason, but nonetheless, Last of Us, again, I think is a different ball game, and I think this is going to do really well. I don't know if it's going to do as well as Spider-Man and God of War. I feel like Last of Us did lose a little bit of its luster with the reception of Last of Us Part 2, but like, yo, everybody loves Part 1, so it's like, it's fine. Everybody can play Part 1 and pretend Part 2 doesn't exist. And if they decide to port Part 2 after Part 1, and, you know, if Part 1 does well and they decide to port Part 2, I'm going to be honest, I think Part 2 would do well if that was the case. If, you know, Last of Us Part 1 is available. It's not the Uncharted situation going on here, where Uncharted was $50 and it was the 4th game in the franchise. And that was the rhetoric I saw constantly in my comments section. People being like, bro, why are you putting Uncharted 4 and not the entire Nathan Drake collection? So, and this is a different case entirely. I should also note, if you pre-purchase the game, you do get some bonus items, bonus supplements used to increase attributes such as max health, crafting speed, etc., etc., bonus weapon parts used to upgrade weapons and craft weapon holsters when you are at a workbench. Last of Us 1, if you guys don't know, is one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely love this game. I think Joel is one of the best main characters in a video game ever. I literally played this game the day it came out on the PlayStation 3. I think I bought like a digital downloadable copy because I was so desperate and I wanted to play the game at like midnight. And yeah, I loved that game back then, and it's obviously seen its subsequent re-releases. The HBO series is about to come out, so timing-wise, I believe the HBO series starts in January. If it's an episode a week and it's a 10-episode series or something like that, that would line up pretty nicely with the PC release as well. So they're timing this out pretty well, where there's gonna be a heightened level of interest in Last of Us as well. And you know, if it has the Witcher effect, where the Witcher Netflix series really elevated Witcher as a franchise, not that it needed much elevation, but nonetheless, it helped it out, and that could be the same case with Last of Us Part 1 as well. I am super excited to go back and play this again on PC. Like, Last of Us 1 is one of those games I can constantly go back to and I constantly can play through just because it's at that high of a level. I don't feel that way about Last of Us Part 2, of course, but yeah, I think Last of Us 1 is just tremendous. Really, from a narrative standpoint, that's where Last of Us Part 2 lost me. I think most of you guys that know the deal know why Last of Us Part 2 lost a lot of people. But nonetheless, this will be coming March 3rd. We don't have system requirements at this stage of the game. This was a PlayStation 5 only title, of course, so it'll be interesting to see where it is. I would imagine something like an RTX 2060 is going to be recommended. That's just what I would think, but we'll see how that turns out once we get an official confirmation on that. Super excited for this. Obviously, a lot of other news coming out of the Game Awards. Another little PlayStation exclusive got announced for PC that will be coming soon as well. But kind of the worst kept secret of all time as far as that's concerned with that game. But nonetheless, let me know all of your guys' thoughts. Let me know what you think about that $60 price tag. I am definitely being way too, like, happy, I guess, being like, yo, they could have gotten away with a $70 price tag. Yo, $60 is still super pricey, and if we were talking about Spider-Man being overpriced for $60, well, that included Spider-Man and the DLC, and that was a 4-year-old game versus this. Yes, it's a remake, but the original game came out over, 9 years ago? Almost a decade by the time this game comes out. Does include the Left Behind DLC, so that is something, but we'll see how it turns out again March 3rd. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.